Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Live. I'm David Thomas. This is Bo Gill. We are back at it one more night. And tonight we have got an awfully weak signal. Our upload speeds are terribly low, and we apologize for that. We've tried to make some tweaks to make it better, but it's just not any better, Bo. I don't know what we're going to do. We're working on getting some of that.
We're going to have a revamp of our connection here, but for now, we just hope that you can bear with us if it kind of fuzzes up or
Well, we're going to get that high. What do you call it? What that fiber optic? Fiber optic stuff.
And when we're on fiber optic, we're going to be direct to you. So those big screens, you can see us without flaw. It'll be flawless, which might be a bad thing.
Okay,
it'll be there.
Let's thank our sponsors tonight: Lowry Jewelers out on North Main Street, Norris Plumbing here in Shelbyville, 931-703-5915. I'm sure he's been busy this week, Bo.
I bet.
And Dennis Young Insurance, 931-680-1011. Dennis Young Insurance is out on Madison Street as well. We want to thank these sponsors for making this show possible tonight. And guys, we want to start out. There's a lot of stuff going on, but first of all, we want to make sure everybody knows that Bedford County schools are closed tomorrow, and the extended part, what is it?
SACP will be open.
Learning Way.
At Learning Way.
Learning Way. All right. We also had a Shelbyville Water System, the Flat Creek Division, put out a boil warning for areas of Bedford County. I'll go over those real quick. We've got these areas need to boil their water before using it as drinking water. And that would be Bottle Hollow Road, Elijah Parker Road, Farrah Road, Glendale Road, Hart Road, Hilltop Road, Joe Hart Road, Kincaid Road, Lakey Lane Road, Mount Herman Road, Mullins Hollow Road, Noblet Road, Possum Trot Road, Ward Hollow Road, Womack Ridge Road, and Womble Road, as well as 2536, 2541, 2542, and 2550 on Highway 82 South. There are issues with our water, Bow, and I know that there's potential crisis in Bell Buckle Ward Trace. They're not getting the flow they need from Tullahoma upstream. Same thing that's happening here with our Flat Creek issue. Mm-hmm. So we have got we've got issues with water system.
We do, and that's in place. They hope to have it corrected within 72 hours. I'm sure they'll release a statement in the tomorrow sometime. But we just ask that we relay that information that you need to boil your water, and that crisis really hits home. It's really a wake up call for our county, for our infrastructure, for things that are going on not only in Flat Creek and Bell Buckle and other areas. This system that we just had come through took a huge toll on our infrastructure, and it really showed the hand of what we've got. And we've got growth in the middle of all this. So whenever you have residents running out of water in certain areas, that can be it can be a look at things to come, and we really hope that they're working on this to settle these problems. I understand there's a station on a water pump station on Lake Elaine Road, I think, that they're having trouble with. And it's just, the ground shifts during these warm, and it shifts and it breaks pipes, and then water goes different ways. And as I always say, water wins. But when you're without water, you have to come up with creative ways to have water, because we got to have water. I've heard people taking their snow in, starting a fire, and boiling it down when there wasn't any. Now, I think that there is water in these areas now, but it is not consumable at this point. But it really does show a wake-up call here in this area, not only for the infrastructure, but for the planning in handling not only an ice event, but any type of flood. Do we have the necessary tools in place and able to handle these problems that come along with ice storms, tornadoes, certain things? And I think that question's been raised.
Yeah, I think all this has exposed our weaknesses that we have within our infrastructure. But let's start out tonight. I'd like to just Greg Davenport, thanks for joining us tonight there. We see you in there, Greg. I want to ask this, and we want to get some responses from you guys out there. How did you guys make out during the snow? I know it's still not over for a lot of you. You still have roads out in the county that's really bad. If you have a bad road that you live on, we'd like to let you give a shout out for it. Southern Cup, see you in there.
What's up, Cup? You know I had to throw the "What's up, Cup."
Okay, all right.
That's the new sticker. You get one.
We're going to just ask for you guys to chime in. Let us know how you fared during the storm, during this time period where we've had all this cold weather and the snow. And if you have a bad place out in the county, let us know. Let us know where that area is so everybody can understand.
Yeah, this is your show. Remember, we want to hear from you. When you have limited knowledge, we hear from folks, but we want to hear from you right now live and give you a chance to talk about it right here. Put the question out there. We may not know the answer, but it's great to start a conversation on things.
Jonathan Spence, some horrible cabin fever. Okay,
oh, man,
I had some horrible. Yeah, I think everybody did that. But
yeah. But y'all got out this afternoon because, boy, y'all were burning them roads up. I'll tell you what.
Okay, so what? Let's see. Gee, it would be great if the county had snowplows. Laura, that is a good point, and we talked about that earlier during the situation as it was developing. We actually contacted Josh Blevins, contacted the county road department just to see what they had, and we found out that they only had one road grader and some salt distribution equipment. So it was basically impossible for them to get out and scrape the roads like you saw the state do and like you saw the city do. So they were at a disadvantage there. And give us your thoughts about that. What do you think needs to happen next? Just get out there and let us know. Jonathan Smith, traffic was horrible trying to get out of the house on 41 this morning. Yeah, people are.
Oh, it was worse yesterday. It was so slick. It was. It finally started to slush up some. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
All right, Southern Cup says, will they get more? That's a good question. And I would ask my county commissioner what the plans would be going forward if it's viable for them to do that.
I would say that this would be the time when this comes up. A lot of people might say, well, back in July, if they were wanting to buy them, there would be people arguing about why do we need snowplows? Well, look, even if we need at least one snowplow. It seems like we had them in the past. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, here's maybe one snowplow is not going to do it.
No, it's not. But
you need a bunch. And when I say a bunch, 4 to 6 for the county. I mean, you got the city that's got 2 large and 2 small plows just to cover the area, and the county is like probably 8 times bigger as far as road miles than the city is. So I would think if you were going to do it, you would invest for the long haul. I don't know how that works. And there's somebody out there that does, but
and not to beat up on the county. We're not beating up on the county, but what we're trying to get, are we too reliant on the county to take care of our needs? I mean, are there neighbors that
we got a lot of people wanting to chime in here. All right. Jonathan Spence, guess it'll only get worse if they approve these houses for Remington Farms. That is an issue. I mean,
can't get any better.
You can't keep pouring on more rooftops and more people when you've got the water problems that we have. So that's something our planning commissions, both city and county, have to look at going forward. Okay. Terry, Michelle, Warren live on Hawthorne Hill Road. Road was finally cleared this afternoon, but getting there felt like a lifetime. Yeah, for real. It's been several days now.
It has. I feel for a while, especially up on Hawthorne Hill. That's a pretty good steep climb.
If you know of any other areas that are still bad, please let us know so everybody will get the word. I know at Horse Mountain Road, there's still an issue there. And I've heard Railroad Avenue, and there's several others. Coop Road was bad today. Okay, so Laura Blake, the county needs to invest in snowplow blades. The city and county need to do a better job of cleanup after a snow event. Just because major roads and secondary roads are done doesn't mean the job is finished. All it takes is a person to have an accident and sue due to lack of cleanup.
That's usually when stuff gets done.
Well, I don't know. Sadly. I don't know if you could actually sue the county for not having the roads cleaned. That would be a legal matter. But I think that the county is at a disadvantage with not having the plows. All right. Kendall Goodwin, Tollgate Road was terrible and still is. Okay, Tollgate Road, everybody. Just put that down.
I think it's just obvious. I mean, it's nobody's, whatever happened if they didn't have any. But yeah, we need some snow plows. And we might not get another snow for 10 years, but
I promise you, we'll get a snow with it. We'll get a snow every year where they could be used.
What it's done is it started the discussion, and I hope that it started discussion on other potential events that could happen, that we are prepared. We need to be prepared for the small ones and for the little ones, but we also remember we don't always need to rely heavily on our government. We need to maybe band together as neighbors, as roads, to put in a plan in place. As if the county can't do something for us, how can we come together and not have to depend on the counties much? Look, they've got a hard job. They do a lot. We ought to get exactly what we ought to get our fair share from the taxes we pay, but we shouldn't totally depend on them. I had people in my neighborhood. I know they got out with shovels doing some cleaning of the ice, and sometimes that's what it takes, band together to do that. So I just want to make sure that we don't beat up on them too bad, because there's personal responsibility.
Right, Carla, why do they not mix sand with the salt? We did that in Wisconsin, and it helps with grip and melt. That's a good question.
Yes.
That's not a question I can answer, but it's a good idea.
It doesn't melt the salt as much. It can, but I mean the snow, but it does give grip and traction. That is a very good point there.
Right.
They did put it down in some areas. In some areas they didn't.
One thing that is different this time around, we had the snow to start with, which wasn't too bad to drive on. But when that rain came in the other day on top of it, and it melted it, then it refroze. It changed the texture from some grip to totally just slick. It's just totally slick.
It was.
All right, David Smith, is there not an attachment that they could get to fit the tractors that cut the court road right away? These are just parked on the side of the road. I'm not sure exactly.
Probably road grading kind, the regular road grading.
I mean, what we're looking at here, I've looked at them since all this has happened, and you can get attachments to go in the front of trucks, and that's what the county does, the state and the city have, is things that attach to the front of a truck that can be stored away.
Yeah.
All right, Andy Gibson. But guys, the government is here to help. We should defer to government in all things. Okay, Andy, you open that door.
Yeah. All right. I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
The 9 scariest words in the history of mankind, and that Ronald Reagan pointed this out. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Honestly, we expect too much.
We do.
And Andy, you bring up a good point.
But we need to have expectations. Not to say we don't need expectations on our government. We do need. We need checks and balances, and we need expectations. But it seems like we're almost getting into an era where we would just want to sit back and complain and just say, "Well, the government's got to do it."
Well, let me throw this.
That's
out.
not always going to happen.
Here's the thing: when the government wants to take credit for every little thing that takes place, they set themselves up. So when they don't deliver, everybody sees that. Well, you can't even do this. So they want to take credit for all this stuff that they had nothing to do with. Okay, and how many times have you seen our government stand up? Well, we did this. Well, no, you really didn't do that. Private citizens did that, and it's just a mess. I mean, we've got everything backwards right now. But honestly,
it's too overgoverned. It needs to.
Honestly, if we start expecting every single road in the county to be cleaned off, you can expect property taxes to triple from where they already have gone up now.
Yes,
because
they won't have a snowplow on their way home, everywhere, and we don't expect that, and we shouldn't. We should expect we should expect a snowplow, and I don't think that anybody with a reasonable mind would think that's a bad expectation. But I think that we are getting into a mindset of over expectations, and I think we need to kind of sit back, think about it, because we can all get caught up in the bashing whoever, just put a face on it, it could be any seat, they change places. It's a part of the system, and we could bash them all we want, but it's not going to help. It's good to have them held accountable. There's accountability.
Here's the thing: when something really bad happens, who are you going to depend on? Yourself, or are you going to look to the government to help you? I think you need to just be self-reliant.
Yes, the moral to the story is self-reliance.
Yeah, all right. So here's a question. What was the biggest issue for you during this cold weather and snow? Was it the roads? Was it the water? Or maybe it was something else that you had to deal with? And then the second part to this question, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think communication was done well from our county and city and state maybe on what was going on and what they were doing or what they were not doing? How do you think communication was? You guys jump in and let us know on that. But we want to hear from you guys tonight. Please
let us know what you think.
comments. We love to have the comments. And again, I want to stop just for a second here and thank our sponsors, Lowry Jewelers on North Main Street here in Shelbyville. Their phone number is 931-684-8623. Also, Norris Plumbing, 931-703-5915. And then we've got Dennis Young Insurance out on Madison Street. Dennis has got a crew out there that takes care of all your insurance needs. Give them a call, 931-680-1011. And all right, so we've got Carol comes in and says no water. Okay, Carol, how long did you go without water? Are you still without water? What's happened there? Give us some insight on what's taken place. How many days have you gone without water or did go without water? That's good to know. I heard of some people 2-3 days before, especially out in the Pleasant Grove and out in District 4. I know they were suffering.
Yeah, it seemed like that's kind of where it started, and then we got waves of bell buckle. Then Flat Creek seemed to be the last one there, and I hope that a lot of those issues. That is another wake up call. These water services in these areas. Maybe it's time to look in other. For a well, to have a backup well. I mean, there's ways that you can be self sufficient, and this might just spark the conversation in your house.
We've got several here. Greg Davenport Roads couldn't get out till Saturday. I believe City did absolutely the best they could. Also, kudos to City Police for being out and taking photos to show road conditions. Yes, they did a good job on that. And also,
Thomas too.
David Smith. Water, of course. Okay, David, obviously you dealt with water problems. And then Kelly Lemon Parker, we still don't have water. Boy, that's bad. How long?
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with Kenny? What are you doing with him? With no water.
He takes a lot of water, he does. And then,
all right, Carla.
We feel for y'all.
It would be helpful to have a message stating that there is a water break in a certain area when you call in. We were out for 2 days. Okay, 2 days. I've heard 2 days from several people.
With no communication. That's not good.
And we hated to call constantly. I think that's one failure that we have as just people. We don't communicate well with each other. I know I'm trying to get as much information out on Shelbyville now as possible, but sometimes you're sitting and waiting and you just don't hear anything to put out. Yeah. So you have to kind of get out and find out for yourself.
You kind of think, well, did somebody else call it in? Do I need to do it myself? And when you're left without these answers, it's even if it's if it's bad news, you want to hear something. But when you don't hear anything, it is frustrating.
I think what would have been really good on the front end is if the county had come out and said, "Look, guys, we don't have snowplows, but we're gonna concentrate on a few areas that we know is bad. Get the graders out there, and we're gonna salt here, so that you would know." I know other counties put out a list of the roads that they worked and what their plans were. So I think that communication would help everybody a lot. Okay, Greg Flint, man, I'm super thankful I didn't lose power last year at Christmas. Atmos couldn't provide enough gas to provide heat. Didn't have a problem with the roads. They were nasty for a couple of days, but with a 4-wheel drive, it was doable. All right, Greg, David, thank you, Dave, for getting out there. Well, I just wanted to show everybody for themselves. A lot of times you hear people say it's terrible, but if you can show somebody in real time, in real life, they can see for themselves, and that's what I was trying to do there. Kelly, we know Bell Buckle is trying to rectify our water situation. Yes. And there's supposed to be an update in the morning on that, Bo. All right, we got Donna Smith.
They are working on it.
Donna Smith, our rescue workers were at risk during this mess. I'm guessing Mark Thomas thought about the cost of that rescue truck as it was sliding down Haley Road. Yeah, I bet. They need to clear the road so it takes some stress off the fire, EMT, sheriff, etc. on back roads. And I think the cost would have been probably cut in half if there was some way we could have helped those roads. I just don't know what that answer is.
Same thing on Rippy Ridge.
We've got, agree with Carla, we had no water on 130 West for 2 days. The neighbors kind of asked each other, and Facebook posts were saying on other pages a water main break, but no one seemed to really know where and for sure if that was the case. And from what I understand, they had a hard time locating the break. I mean, I was told by somebody that was kind of monitoring that situation that they really did not know where the break was, and they couldn't hardly find one. And I think there turned out to be 2 or 3.
And that's okay as long as they're communicating that. I mean, I think that's only fair for customers, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. What was your biggest issue? Please tell us. Okay. And I was going to bring up, of course, water has already come out, but I know that we've had, um, I know War Trace has got issues with a leak that they're working on to fix. And when they fix that in War Trace, I think Bell Buckle gets the benefit of that. And it allows the pressure to build back up. So you might be experiencing some low water pressure over in War Trace and Bell Buckle. So hopefully when they get that, it's like playing whack-a-mole. You got this popping up, you got this popping up, and you all of our leaks. So
it is, and that's there. A lot of these pipes are older, and that's just what happens. This is when you fix them. A lot of times is when they bust.
We've got Kristen King Holly. I am thankful and appreciative of everyone that worked hard. So many entitled people nowadays. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tabitha. No one told us from the water company the issue. That's the thing I was talking about, communication. It would be great if all the utility companies, our county, our city, would just constantly stay online, telling people, maybe sending text messages,
social media
emails. Well, I mean, you can do it multiple ways. You can get on and do a video. I mean, everybody's got a video camera. Why not get on and talk about it, just like what we're doing right now?
Hard years ago, now it wouldn't be.
And Greg Davenport had this to say: "Too cold to sled." Are you serious? You would go sledding, Greg? No, you're wrong for that.
I know. He's an old kid. Greg's
okay. I would have to say Ms. Garrett took care of these kids. Okay, the cancellations of schools is, I don't know if y'all saw the video we had a couple weeks ago where Dr. Garrett was talking about before the snow, the decision process that they had to go through to cancel schools. So we knew it was coming, and she kind of explained that. But one thing I will say is the Bedford County school system does a fantastic job of communicating. They put stuff out nonstop about everything they're doing.
They over communicate, and that's a great problem.
You have to do that. You have to do that. All right, let's see. Kelly, okay, Tabitha Hawkins says the neighbors were telling each other what was going on, and Kelly Bell Buckle sent email updates to keep us informed. All right, that's good to know.
It is good to
know. That's.
So yeah,
there was a request. I saw a copy of one of those, Kelly, and that's the type of things that we need to see. All right, Greg, quit laughing at yourself. All right. Robert Dye water situation came from so many people leaving faucets running and draining tanks coupled with leaks. All that added on to the problem.
It adds on, and that shows again where we're not sufficient to be able to support.
All right, let's see. Julie Rye, Urbaniak. The local radio station was helpful, and Facebook was super helpful to keep track of school and businesses, road pictures that were sent, and help put things in perspective. Okay, and Tabitha Hawkins replied to Kelly Lemon Parker, that's great. Wish they had out here in Petersburg. Y'all were left hanging in the wind out there in Petersburg. All right, Jared Swain, how many snow days is there built in the school calendar? And at one point, do they have to make updates? They have 8 built up. So we've used 6, so we've got 2 left.
And then they'll tag on, I think, to the end of the year.
Well, no, they will reduce. The next thing they'll do is reduce spring break by the amount of days they go over. Okay. Replying to Jared Swain, 8. There you go. Tabitha's on it. All right, April Blanton, we have 2 left. Boy, she's all over it too. We got 2 left. Talked to Dr. Garrett today, and she said there's 2 left, and there might be some relief coming in some of that from the state. We'll see.
The snow day countdown is on.
All right, so we have got rain that's fixing to come in, Bo. I know I checked radar, and I posted this a little bit earlier today, or late this afternoon. On radar, it's already in West Tennessee, starting to move this way, and it looks like we're going to have some heavy rain, possibly 3.5 inches. Maybe more, maybe less. With that and the melting, we're going to have flood problems.
It's going to be a flooding situation. If you hadn't already experienced it, your yard's soggy as can be. We'll throw in 3 inches of rain on top of that. They say we're still in a drought, which I think we either are always in a drought or we have plenty of water. I don't know if there's a such thing, but we will. It will not appear that we're in a drought here in the next few days, but we do have some conditions coming in. Look for the river to swell a little bit. Look for creeks maybe to get out. I don't know. It depends on how much we get, but 3 or 4 inches on top of this is quite a bit of rain.
I think it's going to depend on how fast it comes down. It looks like it's going to be scattered out for 3 or 4 days, which will help and not create flash flooding maybe, but we're going to have some rising water.
And this will be a slow melt. I mean, there's still snow melting. There's still these back roads that were out today out in Will, and they're covered covered. There's no sun that hits them, so they're totally still covered. And it'll take some time for those just to get thawed out. But there's several areas like that.
Okay, Donna. Yet the town of Wartrace refused to establish a task force to help work on water issues. Eric Maddox has worked hard for the people relying on Wartrace water. Yes, I know Eric is out there, and that's what a county commissioner does. I mean, he's a definition of a county commissioner. He and Drew Hooker have worked hard on this. That's their district, so they're out. We got their sleeves rolled up, and they're trying to help the matter. Now, as far as the Wartrace situation, hopefully they get this thing repaired. And they will put a task force together to address the issues now that they've had this crisis come up, and it just doesn't affect the town of Wartrace. It doesn't affect Bell Buckle, which you've got Cascade Middle School and Cascade High School that are hooked up to Bell Buckle water, the way I understand it. And if they don't have running water, they can't have school. So you've got a problem there.
And then not only that, there's a lot of residential houses in that area. Through that infrastructure pulling off of the Wartrace one, that's why they're seeing the decrease in the flow right now. But they say it'll be back soon. So
okay, Laura Blake, since salt trucks are sitting idle, they could go out to those shaded back roads and finish cleaning up. All right, now salt is going to work in the temperature that we're in now. If you get above about 22, salt will work. But if you get below 22, salt creates more problems. Now, it does give traction like the sand mixed with it that somebody recommended a little earlier. I'm not an expert on it. I think that we've got people that know all those facts, and they weigh that.
Yeah, I'm not a salt expert.
But at this moment, I got to think that Laura, have you seen or heard that the salt trucks are sitting idle at the moment? Or have you just, are you just speculating that they are? I hadn't seen any out.
I haven't seen any, but I would assume that today they were back full force, that they were giving a lot of attention to these roads. But I can't speak neither here nor there on it. But
yeah.
They were out and about today, so but the kids are out again another day tomorrow. So two more snow days left.
I got to think that tomorrow's going to take care of the rest of this, hopefully, and they can get back in school.
The temperatures are supposed to get up a little, but if the rain comes up and the temperatures hold somewhat steady, then a lot of that will.
We're expecting a low tonight of 37. And I think actually 37 is here now, and it's going to warm up just a little bit in front of this front that's coming through. And it's going to be a long, drawn-out process of the rain. So, and then after that, it's going to cool down a little bit, but it's not going to be this tremendous cold that we've had. Any other comments out there? Anything else that you guys dealt with during the snow?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Did you notice? How were the grocery stores? I shop at Food Line, and they were stocked up.
They were stocked. A lot of places right before the snow, they were out of a few. Well, the bread and the milk, that we just consumed.
Here's a question. I don't want to ask you this. I want to ask you guys out there. Why do we go and get bread and milk as soon as we hear about a snowflake coming?
Well,
I want to hear from them, Bo. I know why because
the cow's frozen. That's why. The cow's frozen. I can't get no milk.
No. That's not it. But why is it bread and milk? Or should it be bread and water, bread and milk, all those staples, maybe even eggs? Why is it? Why do we do that?
It sure does show our dependency.
For milk sandwiches, obviously, Brendan Taylor. Of course, Brendan.
Dip it, eat it. I see you working there, Brendan.
No, he said sandwiches.
Yeah, but you dip the sandwiches in the milk, right?
Well, he's talking about milk sandwiches. All right. Snow cream and sandwiches. All right, Connie Hasty. That's probably legit. All right. Other ideas about that. French toast. All right. Okay.
Creativity. I didn't expect nothing less than this from this bunch. I tell you what.
Well, did y'all have problems finding what you needed? And have you noticed the water supply since this water crisis? Have you noticed the shelves getting empty? 2 most ingredients used when you're at home. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
And Dairy Queen ice.
What about
Dairy Queen ice is the bomb. I'm telling you. I don't know how many bags of that stuff y'all sold, but I'm pushing it.
It has a certain crunch to it,
It's just that little pellet stuff that's just perfect now. Just perfect. I'm telling you.
Are you a connoisseur on the ice?
Absolutely, I am. My wife told me, you go get Dairy Queen ice because that is the bomb. All right. Tabitha Hawkins, we were snowed in and did make make it to the store didn't make it to the store till Sunday, and Kroger was pretty good. Yeah, they most everybody did a good job.
Yeah,
of
they
keeping
stayed
things
packed
stocked.
up. Eggs were good. I'm surprised eggs isn't on that list.
All right, we got Laura Blake. In Canada, when there's a storm coming, we go to the liquor store for beverages and grocery stores to buy storm chips. Okay.
Gotta be stocked. You gotta stay stocked up.
Tabitha Hawkins, bread for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches can be eaten even with no power. Okay, good point.
That is all 4-7.
Connie Hasty, you're right. I love Dairy Queen ice cream. Now, I didn't say ice cream. I said ice, the ice pellets. Now, their ice cream is good too.
Yeah.
So when you go get your ice in the bags, the 10-pound bags, you can go in there and get a Blizzard while you're at it.
They will let you buy a Blizzard while you're
But I think Blizzard is a bad word right now. Make one of flamethrower burgers. How about that? A flamethrower.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
So
you're doing good. He'll be here all night.
No. Let's go back now and talk about. I meant to say ice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good job. All right. So, but we did talk about a little bit earlier when we were having the conversation about self-reliance and stuff. I can see that we have a lot of people out here that seem to want to be prepared. So now that you've been through this, how would you prepare for the next one? If you knew another snowstorm was coming in 2 weeks, what would you do today? What would you go do? What would you maybe get snow tires? Would you stock up on water, stock up on food? What would you do? Okay, replying to Donna Smith. Donna Smith, they are too worried about getting raises and trying to get a wheel tax. They used to salt some of these back roads, but I guess that is a thing of the past. Well, Gina, you responded to Donna, but I'm going to say this. We're going to have probably a night to talk about that in a little more detail.
For sure. We got a little bit tonight, but hey, this is your show. We want to hear what y'all want to talk about as well.
Don't get me wrong. When we make a criticism of government, sometimes we do. It's not personal to anybody. I think what happens is good meaning people get caught up in a bureaucracy and a system that just fails. And they get blamed for it, and it's the system failure.
It's not a personal fault, but by no means. No. And then that's why I want to say is, we should rely on self more and stop asking the government, what can you do for me today, or letting the government say, how can I help you? We need to, maybe this is a wake up call, not only for us, but for the government to prepare as well, to have at least adequate supplies to deal with,
Okay, Brandon Taylor, you open this door. Have we talked about Uncle Nearest holding a concert featuring Post Malone, Eddie Vedder, and Jelly Roll? All right, now I've heard of Jelly Roll. I don't know who the other two are. You probably do, but
they're going to be here.
Individual tickets going for as low as $2,500. How many of y'all are going?
There will probably not be too many people from Shelbyville there, but hey. Big stuff. We got some big people coming here.
This has got to be some sort of fundraiser for something. What is it?
I don't know. I hope.
Brandon, what kind of fundraiser is this? If tickets are $2,500, this is raising
something. It does
something.
It sounds like a fundraiser, and it is a fundraiser. But they're bringing some big names here, so that's awesome.
Big names I've never heard.
They are. I mean, Pearl Jam. It was
Pearl Jam.
Yeah, in the '90s they were great.
I don't see anything about Pearl Jam.
Eddie Vedder was the lead singer of Pearl Jam.
Don't know. Okay, I got you. All right, Post Malone. Who is that?
I don't know him. I know Karl Malone, and he was awesome. Him and John Stockton, they rocked it back in the '90s.
He was a basketball player, both.
Well, Post Malone was a post.
So you got Jelly Roll. Now, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
All right, but $2,500. Who's paying $2,500 to see this lineup? I'm waiting.
Crickets.
I'm waiting.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I'll like to hear about your comments if you do attend. And hey, that's big names in Shelbyville. I guess that's what we want, and that's what they're coming. So,
all right. It's a tribute fundraiser in honor of the late Leslie Jordan. Okay, I knew it's some sort of.
It's awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Connie Hasty, how much is a life worth? Student at UT Martin fell and cracked her skull. Next day, they canceled classes. And I assume that maybe this was because things weren't salted and cleared off like they should be. I think that here's the question. Okay. I know some of y'all didn't get out, didn't try to drive. I had all-wheel drive, and it was pretty easy to get around. Even on some of those back roads, it was easy to get around. So my question is, at How long do you sit and wait before you can get out and go to work? I know some people had to go to work and had no choice. Others were off and had leniency so that they could get off. So, I mean, what does that process look like as far as sitting around waiting? I mean, I I'm out.
I don't understand that really. I'm afraid we're in a if school's out, work's out mindset, and I hope we're not falling victim to that.
Well, I think
generations are getting older.
I think COVID set us in a mindset that we can shut down anytime we want to.
It did. It did. I mean, you see it at these stores. They'll just close the doors.
Just close the door.
Just because.
All right. At April Blanton replying to Brendan Taylor. Brendan Taylor, 80, was lead singer of Pearl Jam. There she goes. Post Malone has tattoos all over his face. Oh, okay.
Karl Malone.
Well, that describes a whole lot. But all right. Greg Davenport, I couldn't get my tool trailer out till Saturday. Greg, pulling a trailer like that is a lot riskier than just taking it off in a 4-wheel drive.
Look, it was
you're exempt, okay? All right, Brandon Taylor, as noble as the effort may be, it's clear that the concert isn't targeted toward the majority of Shebel's income demographic. You reckon?
I was hoping Will Wilson would be here, but
all right. So who do you think people are going to come down out of Nashville?
Oh, yes. Oh, there'll be your high rollers will be here. I mean, it'll be the place to be. It'll be packed. It'll be sold out, and they'll make a lot of money. And it sounds like it's for a cause I'm not familiar with, but that's great. It works for them. I won't attend. I'm sorry, I won't attend. I can't. I got to eat. I got to eat. I got to buy bread. I got to buy milk and things like that.
Exactly. Got to fill the truck up with gas.
Got to fill the truck up with gas. Got to make some.
Latin, you would love that, David Thomas. Boss lady. All right. Anybody else have any earth-shattering news they need to share? Bo, we need to wrap this thing up, but I don't want to leave anybody out there that has something else they want to say. We want to ask you guys what you would like to talk about next week. If you could send us private messages, if you have a topic you'd like to bring up, we will try to get that on the conversation list and make sure that we bring that up.
That's a good idea to tell that we do want to hear from you, not necessarily right now. So if it's a thought during the week, something you want to talk about, shoot us a message. We'll be glad to have any idea and
guys,
conversation.
I want to do one other thing, just kind of a public service announcement. Shelbyville Now is growing real fast, and we're trying to get as much content on our website as possible. In this last week and a half, with all the snow and all, I did a lot of weather stuff that I typically don't do. I lean toward Elijah Kirby with Shelbyville Weather because he's kind of the weather guy here. But when it snows like this, the snow is the news, and I've been really heavy on that, and I'm not going to be doing that unless something really big happens. But I will put out forecasts and stuff. And then another thing, we do have our live streaming scanner, police scanner that's going 24/7, and I've got a little idea for anybody that would like to have a scanner set up so you don't have to occupy a computer or a phone. What I did is I took an old iPhone that's still active as far as the battery. It's still got a good battery. I charged it up, and what I did was I got on Wi-Fi, and then I went and got on the browser and pulled up the website and clicked the link, and I've got this thing running 24/7, so it's like a little scanner sitting to the side, and you can hear, and you don't have to occupy your phone or your laptop or whatever. Okay,
a great service. Make sure to check that out.
Okay, Skinny McLean, benefit concert for salt and plow truck. All right, love it. Skinny, you're in charge of that. Start a GoFundMe account, and I'll donate something to it. All right, April Blanton, we really appreciate road condition updates. Yeah, and y'all fussed at me for getting out. I'm holding that against you, April. All right, Laura Blake, I appreciate your updates on okay. Yeah, we're gonna do it again if it happens. Drew Leverett, we need to talk more about the battery plant. That's not a battery plant.
Oh yes.
All right. Oh, just wait. All right.
And if you haven't seen the article by Josh Blevins on the website, go check it out. But there'll be more to come on the battery pack, as well as there's a planning commission meeting coming up. There's some big zoning issues that are coming up this week that we'll be commenting on further. So stay tuned to Shelbyville Now for all your weather, all your news. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Now, if you like our page or follow our page, you are going to get notifications, and I'm trying to get as many people to follow us. And by doing that, if you hit a like, I'm going to send you an invitation to follow. So that means just please accept that invitation and please share it with other people because we'd like to grow this to maybe 20,000 followers eventually. And we're sneaking up on 11,000 right now. So
we're getting there. So thank y'all.
All right. So I don't know if Katie's on here, April. Andy Gisson. Hey, I hear we're getting a racetrack. Whatever happened there? Brendan Taylor. All right. It's not a racetrack.
Go back to the archive. You can see the episode called It's Not a Racetrack.
Yep, Brendan Taylor. It's not a racetrack. He's got it. Well, guys, we're going to get out of here.
Yep.
Please be sure to share our content with your friends and talk about it. And go to our website daily. We've got something on there new every day. And we appreciate you tuning in here tonight. And we appreciate our sponsors.
We sure do.
We appreciate Norris Plumbing, Lowry Jewelers on North Main Street, and Dennis Young Insurance here in Shelbyville for all your insurance needs and all your diamond needs
and all your
plumbing needs.
Check these guys out.
These are 3 fine locally owned small businesses that appreciate your business, and we appreciate them. And Bo, thanks for sitting down again. Thank you guys. We'll be back this same time, same place next week.
Yep.
And you guys stay safe.